She is there leaning against the car talking to him right after a date, and while they were talking and they say that the date was wonderful and he says that she is very perfect, he then takes a certain amount and gives it to her as he pleases and goes right away making an appointment another date next week at the same place and at the same time, and she then takes the amount and puts it inside her dress, thanked her and left. Walking down the sidewalk, she was thinking about what she was doing with her life, so she stops and takes the value out of her dress and starts counting, and says that it's still not enough and that she needs more and more. Crying there, he says he can't stand that life anymore, but he still needs to be in that life. She continues to walk the sidewalk thoughtfully and moving her hair with her fingertips. When she arrives in front of the building, she finds the woman she works for, and she soon says that she really needed to talk to the girl. The girl then greets her and the woman then goes on saying that it has been a long time since she has seen her, and the girl then says that she would really look for her to be able to pay her. Then the woman says that it had been a month since the girl owed her and tells her that if she wants to continue working with her she has to pay days and that she won't pay for it. The girl then says that she will pay her, but that she is saving money to be able to pay for the treatment of her little sister who will have to have a transplant and that it is very expensive. The woman then says that it is very touching, but that she has nothing to do with your personal problems. The girl says that she understands and that she just needs a little more time and that she will pay her. The woman then says that she is a beautiful and intelligent girl and tells her to be good with that life and that that is not for her and that she looks good, that she doesn't belong there. She then says that she knows and that she will only pay for her sister's transplant and get out of that life. The woman then says that she will give her a month to work and pay what she owes, and that after the time passes she does not answer for anything that may happen and that she has to understand that it is her livelihood too. She then thanks the woman, saying that if it were someone else he wouldn't have the consideration she is having. The woman then repeats that she will give her just 1 month and says goodbye and leaves. The girl is there in agony, not knowing what to do at that moment, crying to God for help, and then she goes to her point to see if she can get another customer. And she is there all charming, insinuating herself to the men who pass by. She throws kisses, calls waving, makes possessions, and nothing helps, and then she says that it's not easy that day and that she needs to get more money. Meanwhile in the hospital, the girl asks the doctor to call her sister. The doctor then picks up the phone and immediately calls her. When her phone rings, she is on the sidewalk waiting to get something. She then removes the phone that is on her leg under her dress and answers it immediately when she sees that it is her sister's doctor. The doctor then says that the girl wants to talk to her. She then asks to pass the phone to her sister. The doctor then hands the phone to the girl, who is there, pale, lying in a hospital bed. The girl says hi to her sister and asks how she is. The emotional girl asks if the girl is okay. The girl says she has missed her a lot and asks what day she is going to the hospital to visit her. The girl then says she is working hard to get the money for the treatment, but says that as soon as she can she will go to the hospital because she misses her so much too. The girl then asks her not to take too long to go see her because she really misses her. The girl asks if she is eating right, and if she is able to eat, and the girl says yes, that everything is fine. She continues to ask how things are with the girl and wants to know if she is enjoying the nurses and if they are treating her well. The girl says yes, that everyone treats her well there at the hospital. The girl then asks if she is feeling better, and the girl says he told her that after the transplant she will be fine. The girl then says yes, and that it will be very soon, that she is working and fighting for that to happen. The girl then says that she has to hang up and asks her sister not to take too long to go see her. She says that she is fine and that she will as fast as she can. The girl then says goodbye to her sister, saying she loves her. The girl says she loves her a lot too and asks her never to forget, and saying goodbye hangs up the phone. At that moment the girl despairs and starts to cry and bends down there, putting her hands on her head. Soon after, she is at another point. Now under a tree she is waving and insinuating herself to the men who pass there, and then a car approaches and, seeing her there, the car driver. She then blows a kiss and calls him, but when he opens the window he recognizes her and calls her by her name. She gets scared and starts to straighten up when she sees who is in the car. She then greets him with a hi and he then asks what she does there. She approaches and says, all shy, that she is there. He then asks her to get in the car so they can go for a ride. She suspiciously asks him if he's sure he wants her to get in the car and then gets in all suspicious. She gets in and closes the car door and he says it's too hot lowering the car window. So he asks her how she is and she adjusts her dress, which is too short, says she's fine and taking it, but he says looking like this she doesn't seem to be doing well and asks her what brought her to that life. She then curls up to answer and asks him if he's going to pay her because she really needs money and can't just stand there. He then asks her to calm down and asks her not to worry and they're going to talk a little. He then starts by saying that he remembers her when he was a child when she and her daughter studied together and says that she was very studious and that he didn't believe when he saw her there in that place. She says that life plays tricks. He says that there must be another way for her to earn money and that she doesn't need that life and that is not life. She then tells him that she is not there by choice, but rather because she has a sister who is very sick and the only way she found to be able to pay for her transplant, which is very expensive, was to get into that life. He is then impressed with everything that is happening to her and that it is all very sad. She says that unfortunately, but that she has no other choice. He is moved and says that maybe he can help her. She thanks him and says that maybe no one can help her and she's running out of time. Then he says that he has some friends who are doctors and that maybe he can find a way with them to anticipate the girl's transplant. She almost crying asks if he is serious and that he would be able to do that for her and her sister. He confirms that yes and that he has known her for so long and that it would be the least he could do and that he will talk to his friends and that at least that he will do, and says that he is not promising, but that he believes it will work out, for they will be your friend and that God will help and that he will do his part, asking them to see if they can do the girl's transplant. She says she doesn't believe what she's hearing and that it was God who put him there in her life. He says it's nothing and he's going to help her. She then says that his daughter must be very proud of her father and he then asks her if she didn't know what happened to her daughter. She, without knowing anything, asks what he's talking about, so he says that her daughter is gone and that it's been 2 years. She gets emotional and says she doesn't believe it, saying she didn't know, then asks what happened. He starts by saying that his daughter was leading a very wrong and uncontrolled life and drinking a lot and she had a car accident and couldn't resist and that's how it happened. She then says she's sorry and that it's a great sadness. He then says that when he saw her there he immediately stopped, but only to help her, and he continues saying that he did not open his eyes to help his daughter and says that whatever she needs she can count on him and that he will be there to help her. But she will have to promise him that she will get out of that life and that there is no life for anyone, and that no one deserves the life she is leading. She then promises that she will get out of that life and he says that he will call his friends so they can advance her sister so that she doesn't have to wait in line at the hospital and that he has a lot of bureaucracy and that he is sure that everything will be fine. He then takes a certain amount and gives it to him, saying that it is to cover the expenses and that according to the exams and medicines he will help her. She says that everything is fine and says she does not know how to thank him and what he is doing for her would be like being a father to her and her sister's life. He says that the way she can be grateful is by going back to school, taking care of her sister and especially getting out of that life, and says he doesn't want to see her doing what she was doing anymore. She then asks him if she can hug him as a way of thanks. He says yes and that he likes her a lot. she hugs him and thanks him at that moment for everything.